Hello YouTube family, and welcome to episode 8 of our shed build. Today we're going to be begin putting up siding on our shed. I know that we were going to get to putting the roof up, but we got to get the siding up first before we get that roofing panel up. Now we're going to be working with 3/8 inch siding. Now I know a lot of people will use 5/8. Again, I would maybe suggest that you go with a heavier duty and thicker panel. It'll add an aspect of rigidity to your shed. However, in a sense, we've overbuilt so much of this shed that I'm pretty comfortable with putting the thinner siding on. Plus, where we do our seed starts, we're going to be insulating the inside of those walls. So again, I think we should be okay with a thinner board. Plus, I've also been running into supply issues here. While things aren't expensive, 5/8 inch board that I was hoping to get, man, buddy, you've got to drive a while or it's nowhere to be seen up by where we're at. So let me flip the camera around and tell you how we're going to be doing this. So to help us steady these boards and make sure that we get them nice and level and they're the same distance all the way across the bottom, what we did is we took a chalk line, ran it all the way across the bottom. We ended up putting a float level on it and then snapping a line. So even though my grade might be a little bit off, but for the most part, again, the shed itself is not off. We got that nice and level. I'll be able to set my 4x8 sheet of board on here, steady it while I go ahead and use my siding nailer and nail all the way up. Now, we have a 10-foot front. I have 4x8 sheets, and so they're gonna come about 2 foot short, but that's okay. We'll put the other 2 feet on the top, and we're gonna put a nice seam all the way across the front. Paint that a little different color. It's gonna end up looking nice. So let's go ahead and get this mounted on there, and we'll put our 4x8 sheet up, get it squared up, and then go ahead and nail it up. Well, as is with our life and lifestyle, it is obviously a different day. We're going to be going out in just a moment and putting up, or hopefully putting up, the west walls on the shed. It's very, very windy today. It's been a wonderfully warm week, but I've had zero time to get outside and actually work on the shed. The only time I've got is in the transition between a very warm front and a cold front. Sustained winds are anywhere between 15 to 30 miles an hour. So it's going to be adventurous out there. But I thought before I went out there, I would let you know what I've been using to put up these walls. I am using a Bostitch N66C-1 to put up my siding. This is an early Christmas present from my wife. Again, look for that degree mark so you know which type of coiled or rolled nails to get. I am using a galvanized 2-inch nail. And those are ring shank, so it helps end up preventing the siding from pulling itself back up. So let me come in nice and tight on that so you can read that. I ended up getting these at the big box store. So again, let's just go ahead and head on outside and get that west wall put up. You guys okay? You just keep falling down. I don't know what to do for you. Well, we're gonna stop. It's getting really bad. So we're gonna get things covered up, get them put away, and we got a whole lot farther than what we thought because I really didn't think we would get another board on this side done. So when we come back, it'll be a different day. It'll be kind of overcast and wet, but we'll get this side finished and then we will cut out the windows and the doors. All right, see you in a moment. It is the next day. The storm front has gone through. The sunshine is out. but the temperature has dropped significantly, so we're layered up today. We might be doing some things differently with this last panel that we put up yesterday. We were in a rush to beat the rain, and the wind was pretty bad, and we ended up with a result I don't know if I'm going to be happy with, and we might have to make some adjustments, which sadly means we're going to have to pull all of this off and hopefully do it in a way that doesn't ruin the panel, and we can continue to use that panel, because these panels are not cheap. They're about $34 to $35 a piece. So we'll see. Also today, I'm going to work to cut out the door. If you see right there, the door as we panel over it, as well as the window. We're going to work to cut that out today, and we're going to do it with a special bit. I'll talk about the bit that we're going to end up using and how you can look for that same bit, especially if you have a router, or better yet, a palm router. So stay tuned for that. Well, as much as it pains us, I think we're going to go ahead and pull that panel off. We're going to do our best to try to save it, but it is what it is. Mistakes happen. Again, as we've always said here at Simple Homesteading, you get the good, bad, and the ugly. So learn from our mistakes. So let's go ahead and get this panel popped off. All right, the wall is down, and what we're going to do now, and we didn't do it yesterday again because of time, thought I would just cut it out later after I cut out the opening for the door and the window, is we are going to go ahead and cut out that, we'll get the hand to work here, opposite, that sill plate. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my Sawzall, I think that's a brand name, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna take my Sawzall and I'm gonna cut out at that corner and at that corner, and then we'll get that removed. As we can see, I have completely sided my shed and have provided me no way to get inside. Well, that's not necessarily the case. Let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to be using what's called a trim bit or a cutout bit. This is a quarter shank. It's 1 inch length and a 1/2 inch cutting diameter. They usually come with a bearing on the top or a bearing on the bottom. The problem is, or I shouldn't say it's a problem, it's only a problem for unskilled people like me. You will need to be very careful about keeping your router perpendicular or parallel to the piece of board that is running on this bearing. And if you don't, you can have a tendency to gouge or cut your board at an angle. Because I'm not good, I got one that has a bearing on the top and the bottom. And so hopefully that will keep me in some senses from running that through or gouging out or cutting at a bad angle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this into my palm router, and then I'm going to drill a hole into my doorway, and I'm gonna get it as close to the edge, I think, as I can. I can kind of see inside there. where that's at. And so I'll get close to my stud where I've nailed, and then I will come in, and then I will just run that router all the way along the outside, and my rough-in boards, my rough-in 2x4s will guide along those bearings. And we're going to be doing that for both the door and for the window. All right, not that it's that interesting. I wanted to have you watch me drill the hole in. However, my camera wife goes, "Oh, what's that big red button for?" So we've got the hole started, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to basically feed that bit through the hole and work our way towards the edge of the board, and then just have that board guide us on these bearings to cut out the opening for the door and the windows. Let's go ahead and do that. So voila, I am no expert, and by no means do I pretend to be. And many of you are probably cringing at the way in which I use my foam router. But you know what? I've got a nice opening for my door with nice clean edges. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna hit that window too. And then when we're done with the window, then we're gonna go ahead and go back to getting up the rest of our siding. You can see that we've got the window and the door all cut out. Now, for transparency's sake, let me go ahead and share with you what we have to take some time to do. We just got done eating lunch. We're back out here hoping to get the rest of the siding up. We thought we would end this video there and then maybe start to get the roof, the steel roof up, but man, the wind is still really strong today, and we're not sure that's going to be a wise thing to do. We'll see, but that will be in the next episode. However, again, let me kind of point to, I think actually I can do it from here. If you see, we had to take some time to put the blocking, cut some blocking and put blocking all the way across the top, because we were going to end up with puckering on that seam when we finish putting the rest of those boards up there. So what we're going to do right now, I'm going to go ahead, take those measurements, start making those cuts, get all those put up, and then that'll be done. That'll be it for this video. And then the next video, the next episode, we'll be working on that. All right, let's get started. All right, I am on the edge. Cut this. All right. So get my saw, wherever that is.
You're silly. You need to come from this direction, don't you?
It's hard to start.
Oh, okay.
It's easier to go this way. Because you're on a really tough day.
Just remember, this is going to be covered with metal flashing.
Yep. Good.
Yep. I guess these two.
We are done with the siding. Now, I know that we didn't show us getting all that top stuff done, but it is so windy and the temperature is dropping like a rock out here. We could not keep the camera upright, as you have already seen. So we thought we would just show you the product afterwards. Very happy with all this. Next step for drying this in is getting the roof, all the steel put up for the roof, getting the window in, and getting the door in. Once that's done, then for the most part, we can actually start getting some things moved over behind on the backside here, emptying out that building a little bit. And then we can start getting the inside, there we go, the inside of this done and customize a little bit. But that is other episodes. We'll end up trimming out the corners. We'll end up trimming out the seams. Again, lots of stuff still to do on the outside. But thanks for being with us on this episode. If you like this episode, hit the thumbs up. If you're not yet a subscriber, subscribe. It's been really encouraging. We ended up with nearly 30 new subscribers last month. Love building our own our online community. If you have any questions, leave the questions below. We answer pretty quickly. Love talking with all of you. And hopefully you'll stay with us, because we will be back for the next episode where we begin to put on the steel on the roof. Again, thanks for joining us today. You have a blessed day.